At the police station, Gu Changhua M., the eldest son of the Myeongjin construction conglomerate, was creating chaos. He was arrested for suspected assault without substantial evidence. Recently, his father publicly announced the succession race to find a capable person to take over the business. Gu Changhua M. only had a high school diploma, while his younger brother graduated from a prestigious university and married a famous woman in Daesan 3 years ago, holding a very stable position. Gu Changhua M. would be at a disadvantage if his brother found out about his involvement in a brawl and breaking the law. He tried to explain the truth to the police, but they deliberately misunderstood, assuming he was the initial aggressor. He was so furious that he wanted to destroy everything and give up on the succession race. At this desperate moment, Kim Hyun-sung suddenly appeared, claiming to be a witness for Gu Changhua M. As if he had unexpectedly witnessed the incident, the main character started a hypocritical performance. "I just happened to witness it as I passed by. I thought there would be trouble because there were no CCTVs around, so I borrowed the black box from a parked car nearby and came here." Given that a testimony from a minor like me might not be persuasive, this person tried to avoid the conflict by all means, but they held him back and assaulted him. He had no choice but to defend himself. It was not his fault. He was just strong enough to take them down with one blow. Thanks to Kim Hyun-sung's arrival, Gu Changhua M's trouble was resolved smoothly and easily. The main character received gratitude money from him and explained that the brawl was not random, nor was his bringing of evidence. Since Gu Changhua M was famous in Daesan, even when unconscious, he still remembered some issues about his family, how they lived, and their eventual fate. Kim Hyun-sung asked for an hour to explain everything. The main character took out the original copy of the black box and handed it to Gu Changhua M, initiating psychological manipulation. 30 minutes before the accident, 3 people gathered in front of a convenience store. At a glance, they looked like regular customers shopping, but 30 minutes passed and they didn't budge an inch, as if waiting for someone. The moment Gu Changhua M arrived, they naturally fought with him. Being instructed to get beaten up, they showed their faces and hurled abuses. Although he tried to remain calm, he was the first to strike in the end. Piecing together recent events, it seemed like someone deliberately orchestrated this right when the succession race began. Thus, bad things kept happening to him one after another. What if all this was set up by Gu Suk to undermine him? Gu Changhua M listened and felt quite convinced. He had always been suspicious but unwilling to accept that his younger brother, who had been raised well, could engage in such despicable acts. Kim Hyun-sung claimed that he would help him take revenge on his disgraceful younger brother and ascend to the chairman position at Myeongjin Construction to gain Gu Changhua M's trust based on what a high school kid said. Kim Hyun-sung continued to argue that surely someone was assisting him in this power struggle, but it was not coincidental. Those who were supporting him were merely whispering sweet nothings in his ear. Meanwhile, a high school student like himself could accurately analyze Gu Suk's script clear as day. They were Gu Suk's informers. He did not need him to believe, just to give him a chance, an opportunity to build trust between them. Gu Changhua M was known as a very cautious person, being the eldest son of Myeongjin Construction. He was like a ticking bomb in Daesan that should not be touched. Kim Hyun-sung approached him not because he was upright, but because he was a corrupt person ready to dispose of his brother for power, fitting perfectly into the main character's plan. Gu Changhua M seemed hesitant, unsure whether to believe what the main character, a high school kid he just met, said or not. However, what he said wasn't wrong, since compared to his brother, he understood where his place was. If things went on like this, the position of heir would slip away. Suddenly, he remembered his father's words, "If you lack skills, find someone skilled to stand beside you. Do not differentiate based on age, gender, or status. If you keep someone with the necessary skills by your side, you can lead Myeongjin Construction." He thought too much, feeling dizzy and as if his head was going to explode. He decided not to care anymore. Taking a gamble, Gu Changhua M chose to trust the kid in front of him this one time. Kim Hyun-sung detailed his inferior position compared to his brother and clarified their plan. There were 3 conditions to win this power struggle. First was background, and here Gu Changhua M was clearly losing as Go Chang-suk was busy forming alliances with powerful families in Daesan through marriage while he was indulging in meaningless relationships in the red light district. The second was reputation, which did not need further explanation considering Gu Changhua M's notorious reputation in Daesan. The last was skill. While he was engrossed in pleasures and liquor, Gu Chang-suk had proved his worth through his business accomplishments. He did not need to be exceptional, as anything he did would be better than what Gu Changhua M did. Therefore, from now on, they would have to change these three aspects. Starting with the background, it wasn't easy to marry into a powerful family like Gu Chang-suk did. The solution was to sever the relationship between him and his wife. Once the support from the bride's family, a key element in his backing, vanished, Go Chang-suk would return to the starting line just like them, an easy task for the main character. He informed Chang-suk's wife about the hotel where her husband's mistress was, resulting in a painful end for him. Their father, the chairman of Myung-jin Construction, Go Myung-jin, summoned them and reprimanded both. Unlike previous occasions, he praised Gu Changhua M, saying he did well and was proud of him. Receiving his father's first praise, who had always been strict, overjoyed Gu Changhua M. Agreeing to follow Kim Hyun-sung's instruction not to get overly excited too soon, Kim Hyun-sung stressed that this was just the beginning. The only thing they achieved was bringing Go Chang-suk back to the starting line in terms of support. To become the chairman, there was still a long road ahead. Hence, he must join the company as a low-level employee and observe how things operate, with Kim Hyun-sung guiding him on the best time to act. Gu Changhua M was surprised but ultimately agreed considering the bigger picture. Of course, nothing was free, a favor required another in return. Kim Hyun-sung openly stated his request, to become his guardian, to borrow his power to defeat an enemy who had everything. He too needed to have everything. On the day of the disciplinary board meeting, Kim In-chun was slapped several times by Young Mi-ho's mother for failing to protect her daughter despite taking money. Furthermore, he was beaten by Kim Hyun-sung, who forced him to do everything possible to conceal his affair. Because if he revealed the embezzlement and relationships with other women, his life would be over. Kim In-chun felt deeply miserable, clutching his head and lamenting to the heavens, "Why have I become so wretched and pathetic? Being either a cheating spouse or a corrupt teacher, I will lose all standing in Daesan." In his most desperate moment, he noticed someone observing him, the guardian of Kim Hyun-sung. This guardian happened to be the eldest son of the Myung-jin Corporation. Recognizing this, he cast aside all his previous relationships and vigorously defended Kim Hyun-sung. Banging the table to emphasize his words, he spoke as though he represented justice itself. "This is a disgusting situation. The aggressor is being portrayed as the victim. The cause of this issue is clear. The bullies of this school, including Young Min-ho, started the trouble with their peer earlier." The principal was extremely surprised at his words, and even Young Min-ho's mother couldn't believe it, assuming he must be under the influence of some substance to speak so boldly. Kim In-chun continued, detailing every aspect of the case. "I have received numerous complaints about the 4 students in Park Min-cheol's gang since the beginning of the school year. They have been bullying the other students. I warned them sternly to stop their disruptive behaviors, but they only became more malicious over time. A few days ago, Park Min-cheol also bullied Lee Young-min. Student Kim Hyung-sung couldn't stand witnessing the bullying any longer and tried to stop it with his kind and warm heart. However, Min-cheol brought some friends to attack Hyung-sung. What would anyone do in such a situation? Sit quietly and wait. What Kim Hyun-sung did was nothing but self-defense. Of course, I agree that the defense was somewhat excessive, but considering the circumstances and reasons, punishing only Kim Hyun-sung would be like endorsing school violence as adults. Kim In-chun's passionate defense left the older principal floundering, unsure how to proceed, especially given his previous promise to Young Min-ho's mother to protect her child. The false sympathy allowed the alleged victim, Min-ho, to give his own version of the story, shifting all blame onto Kim Hyung. The mother chimed in, adding to the chaos and contributing to the murkiness of the situation, painting the main character as the perpetrator in the gossip that ensued, a painful and intolerable situation. Standing as the guardian of the main character, Gu Changhua M slammed the table and rose up to start a verbal combat, demanding truth from Min-ho's mother. He accused her of trying to mislead everyone with lies without understanding the real situation. He depicted the Park Min-cheol gang as notorious for their bullying and theft, a reputation well known to everyone around. He questioned why the principal was covering up for them, suggesting perhaps bribery was involved. Gu Changhwa emphasized Kim Hyun-sung's justifiable self-defense and urged others to be honest about their own experiences with bullies during their youth. The furious exchange escalated with personal attacks and revelations of the ties between Gu Changhwa and the large Myeongjin Corporation, a connection that left the principal startled and contemplating the implications of affiliations with either party in the conflict. The realization of the potential sponsorship from the corporation made the principal quickly change sides, blaming Young Mi-ho as the ringleader of the bullying group, and portraying Kim Hyun-sung as just a bystander who intervened, a victim in the scenario. It was decided to give Kim Hyun-sung an opportunity to share his side of the story. The main character, having waited patiently, finally got the chance to speak. He felt different now, realizing that unlike in his past life where he had no backup and no one to listen to him, he could now leverage the undeniable truth of different rules for the rich and the poor to his advantage. He began a long narration, spanning more than 10 pages of paper. He condemned the irresponsible teachers before finally directing his anger towards the bullies, concluding with a metaphorical blow to their faces, encapsulating the complexity and frustration of the scenario. Absolutely, I did hit Min-ho, I even sent Park Min-cheol and others to the hospital, but why am I here, just because I struck once? Because I went too far? No, it's because the adults think I don't have power. Even if I was bullied and fell from the rooftop, without power, it would be swept under the rug. There has been a gang bullying at school until now, punish them first, or I will disclose this matter publicly. Everyone will know the truth, and it will become Daesan's disgrace. The only way to shut me up is the final judgment. Seeing her son at a disadvantage, the angry mother shouted and cursed everywhere. She called her husband for help, but upon hearing the name Gu Changhwa, her husband yelled on the phone, regardless of whether the boy is right or wrong, just bow down, accept the punishment, and then come straight home. Don't put the family in jeopardy. It was the first time in her life she had been humiliated. She felt frozen, a bit resentful, but couldn't do anything about it. In the end, the disciplinary committee decided that Kim Hyun-sung would serve 100 hours of volunteer labor for school violence, while the other 4 students, including Young Min-ho, were expelled. When everything was over, Young Min-ho couldn't believe it was true, not imagining losing to someone without a family. Furious and resentful, he rushed towards Kim Hyun-sung, ready to lash out. It's all your fault, you bastard. However, he was stopped by the mother, who forced him to kneel down and beg. Reluctantly, under the mother's pressure, Young Min-ho kneeled in humiliation for the first time in his life. It seemed to be over, but it was not enough compared to the pain the main character endured for 10 years. He coldly whispered in the opponent's ear, "But what should I do? This isn't enough for me to feel better. You should just pray, because from today, your future will only be bleak." That night, after hearing about the expulsion, Park Min-cheol initiated a message to the main character, begging to meet. Skipping the pleasantries, Kim Hyun-sung instructed him to speak immediately, without beating around the bush. Park Min-cheol bowed his head in apology, admitting his wrongdoing, and begged the main character to forgive him. And promising it will never happen again, he spoke of the teacher's words. Just agree and I won't be expelled, pledging to be the main character's servant, doing anything and everything asked of him. They were still only 17, with uncertain futures as high school students, unable to find another school in Daesan willing to accept them, their lives seemingly overdue to the expulsion and association with school violence. In his persuasion attempt, Park Min-cheol looked around, verifying no one was nearby, before hesitantly disclosing, saying this puts us in danger, but someone ordered us to bully you, that person is. Before he could finish, the main character interrupted, stating he knew who was backing Park. Thanks to the negligent nurses who constantly watched TV during his coma, he learned the truth from a news story about a bullied student who committed suicide, leaving a letter that exposed everything. It was the Golden Circle organization, famous in Gangnam, that recognized the business opportunity in protecting affluent and powerful students from school bullying. They employed bullies to safeguard such students in schools, establishing a hierarchy where protected students enjoyed higher status, with enforcers ready to maintain that order at any sign of threat. The main character revealed that in the future he knew, although the outer circle members of the Golden Circle were exposed, they were soon forgotten without revealing their identities to the end. To avenge the hell he was pushed into, he vowed to investigate and destroy Golden Circle. With the information from Park Min-cheol, he identified the person in charge as the senior Shin Young-min, a third-year student and the school's notorious bully, but not a direct member of the Golden Circle. Although Shin Young-min could not secure clients himself, he had connections with the organization. Kim Hyun-sung knew that approaching Shin through force would be futile given Shin's potential as a future MMA professional. If the main character attacks with his current poor skills, he will be completely defeated. Therefore, his top priority right now is to find a way to deal with his opponent. But first, Kim Hyun-sung has to deal with the guy in front of him, Park Min-cheol. He approaches determinedly, raising his fist full of force, and strikes the opponent's face repeatedly. "Do you want me to forgive you? I'll show you what will happen every time we meet from now on," he says. In his previous life, Park Min-cheol became a father and had a daughter, and Young Mi-ho and others also led successful lives. This time, the main character is determined to make them face the consequences of their actions, punching Park Min-cheol's face relentlessly in revenge. No matter what, he will never forgive them.